Hey, I'm Darlene, and today I'm reviewing a 3D pen and filament from Banggood.com. It comes with a manual, a European power cable and adapter so it can work in North America. It also includes a very small amount of PLA filament, orange, green, and transparent. And here's a 3D pen which has a load and unload button conveniently placed, power input, filament input, LED indicator lights, a temperature control dial which weirdly does not have temperature markings, a speed controller, and yeah. I was hoping the box would come with a few of those templates, but there's nothing else in here. So Banggood.com also sent me a ton of ABS filament. We're talking 20 colors, each 10 meters long. Now I'm definitely gonna have leftovers, so I'll do something fun with that in another video. Let's plug it in and give it a whirl. So after plugging this pen in with the provided power cable and adapter, it actually doesn't have enough power to heat up the pen. The LED light comes on, but the one that indicates whether the pen is ready to use or not is actually barely lit. I think it's a faulty adapter. Apparently, I'm the first person they sent this to have the adapter issue. They were really nice about it, and they were gonna send me a new one, but I did a little rummaging around the house and found another power cable. No adapter needed. Plugged that in, and it worked just fine. I actually have several of them lying around the house for some reason. I guess they're pretty common. Anyway, so the way this works is I press the load button once and wait for the green light to come on, and then load the filament. I'm trying the PLA filament that came with the pen first. The motor inside the pen pulls the filament in, and depending on your speed setting, you can make it faster or slower. Pressing the load button again will stop the flow. I don't know what to make, so I'm just making a random orange ball. Now the filament melts really quickly, and it's really easy to control. It takes more than 20 seconds for it to solidify, so you can actually shape your artwork after drawing it. There's also no smell to it at all. Okay, I do want to save these colors, so I'm going to move on to the ABS filament now. To unload it, press the unload button once. To stop the motor, you have to press it again. Pretty simple. ABS requires a higher temperature, so I'm adjusting the temperature dial using a flathead screwdriver, which didn't actually come with the pen. After fiddling around for a bit, I discovered that the manual is wrong. Instead of turning the dial clockwise to increase temperature, it's actually counterclockwise. After getting that sorted, the ABS melts very quickly. However, it does have a melting plastic smell. I had to turn on a fan to blow away the fumes. One thing I'm noticing is that the ABS is so much more solid than PLA, but with PLA, I can achieve higher accuracy because it just flows a lot more smoothly. I'm making a tree, by the way, and it's a lot of fun so far. I was gonna do a scene from Jurassic World, but I decided on the Game of Thrones Godswood on a whim. So I'm turning the tree white, and eventually I'll draw a face on it, which is kind of concerning because the scale is so small that I wonder if the pen will be able to draw such small details. Here I'm creating a longer branch by first making a skeletal structure where I can then just fill in the bark for. It's so cool to draw in 3D because it's such a different thinking process. So far, the filament has been coming out very smoothly and drying completely after about 6 seconds-ish. My favorite thing is doing this, because I love seeing the filament solidify in mid-air. Okay, here's the moment of truth. If I mess up on the face, it'll pretty much be ruined. First, I had to adjust the speed for this, so I can work a lot slower. So I think the pen did a really good job. I didn't expect it to be able to handle such detail. Let's finish up this tree and then create the ground, which also includes a pond. To draw the tree, it actually took a full 10 meters of filament, but I did waste a lot of it trying to thicken the trunk. Okay, so for the ground, I'm making an outline and wireframe, leaving room for the pond, and also adding a rock for more unique terrain. Now all I have to do is fill everything in. It's such a zen experience. As I'm loading up other colors of filament, some of them are getting stuck, and I don't really know why. It's not like the filament is bent or anything. When this happens, the pen automatically pushes the filament back out, and then I can reload it again. The tree looked kind of weird, completely white, so I risked it and used gray to shade the undersides, which actually turned out perfectly. For the leaves, I'm creating as many as possible, and then I'll stick them on the tree later. When drawing directly on my crafting board, I have to peel the ABS off as quickly as possible because when it solidifies, it's really difficult to pick off, and it actually peels the surface material off the board. It was a really cheap board though, so I'm not too concerned about it. Maybe that's why it's looking so rough. Gluing each leaf on was a bit of a challenge because I needed the filament to be hot enough to bond the branch to the leaf, but it dries so fast. Everything is pretty solid except for the tiny branches and connection points to each leaf because they're so thin. I find myself breaking them off by accident every now and then I just get lazy and reattach it by melting the branch with a lighter. The filament comes out quite evenly without mess, and the tip of the pen is not hot at all. Even the black part near the nozzle is only warm. So for smaller hands, I wouldn't be concerned about burning. I'm actually using the highest heat setting right now. So when I stop the pen for about 15 seconds, a little bit of filament actually comes out. If I leave it there, more will melt out of the nozzle. A workaround to that is to press the unload button very briefly to pull the filament back out a little bit. And if I leave the pen long enough, it actually turns off automatically. It's actually really easy to create gradients. The less dense I lay a new color down, the lighter the color appears to the eye, which creates a blending effect. The pen can go a lot faster, but unless I'm drawing something much bigger, I don't think I'll need to operate at that speed. Overall, I'm really happy with the speed options on this. Okay, time to draw a human. This is Ned Stark, by the way, sitting under the weirwood tree. Instead of using all the right colors for his face and body, I'm decomplicating it by using only one color, and then I'll add the appropriate ones later. This is turning out to be way too big for the scene, so let's make another one. Since he's so tiny, it's gonna be really hard to draw his face. Time to draw the face. It really helps to slow down the flow. That way, I have time to react. Now, it's not exactly the face I was going for, but the pen exceeded my precision expectations by a crazy stretch. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to give him a face at all, so I'm super happy with this result. By the way, the pen is surprisingly very comfortable to hold, even though it's quite big, and it's also very light. Okay, one thing the pen doesn't do well is get into tight spaces, because it's pretty big. I tried filling in as much as possible, but it looks like he'll forever have a hole in his left pant leg, which kind of shows that he has grayscale underneath. That's a plot twist. Considering this is my very first 3D printed artwork, I'm very pleased with my creation. I think the pen did a great job, and it was able to work very precisely. There were some complications such as the faulty adapter, and the folks at Banggood were happy to send me a new one, except I found one lying around my house. And there's the occasional filament jam. But overall, it was a ton of fun to use and such an enjoyable experience. I don't know why I didn't get one of these earlier. I feel like I've been missing out. I have a lot of filament left over, and since this worked out so well, I actually ordered a bunch more. So please suggest something for me to draw, and I'll try to make it in another video. The highest voted comment wins. If you want to pick up a 3D pen and filament for yourself or for someone as a gift, links are down below. Thanks for watching.